Possibly the only thing more nerve-wracking than spending millions of dollars to air a TV commercial is not knowing whether the ad is actually reaching its audience. That's especially true during the Super Bowl, where this year some 30-second ads went for more than $4 million. But in this week's drive for super profits, a new measurement tool is being developed that might make life less risky for advertisers.
More than 111 million people watched the Super Bowl last year, commercials and all. A lot of them following Twitter along with the TV. So now, Nielsen, the ratings service, and Twitter have teamed up to measure viewer engagement with programming as well as the commercials they watch. They call it the social TV rating, which gauges viewership and the simultaneous interaction with others watching.
We think that Twitter today is the leading platform, the leading social media platform for commentary around TV programs and around the ads within TV programs.
And with such a large audience, the NFL's biggest game becomes the perfect test case.
There are a very significant number of the viewers to a Super Bowl who watch to see the commercials. And so what we saw was people tweeting both about the game, but also about the commercials.
What's more, of all programming, sports by far is the biggest driver of TV-related tweets.
Sports makes up traditionally about 1.3% of the traditional TV schedule, yet 40+% in a typical month of social-related or Twitter-related TV activity.
To understand that activity, Nielsen recently bought the company Social Guide, which it says owns the best algorithm for associating a tweet with a specific TV program. That's key, Nielsen says, because it provides unprecedented and valuable insight for advertisers craving to know the likes and dislikes of consumers.
You can imagine the advertisers getting very interested in this as a basis of understanding not only their TV buy today, but also where they ought to be spending more or less and how they ought to be thinking about getting the maximum amount of engagement out of that TV buy.
Social media expert Mark Schaefer, author of The Tao of Twitter, agrees that the union of Twitter and TV is a huge advance.
Twitter has kind of become like the EKG unit for television. It's like this real-time pulse of what's going on. And today, about 60% of Americans are using some sort of social media while they're watching television.
Advertisers agree, for the most part.
I think definitely the addition of a metric is a positive thing for the ad community. It forces us as advertisers to look beyond the current norm.
The norm being traditional TV ratings, but beware, a high social rating doesn't necessarily equal approval.
A show might be getting a good conversation, but it might not be a positive conversation. It could also be a negative conversation the next season. So we need to keep an eye on what the conversation is about.
Not all publicity is good publicity. And starting this fall, though, the social TV rating will cover all major programming, both on network TV and on cable, and eventually it'll be used worldwide.